happens every couple times a year, and you gain Shibadoge tokens and burn tokens. Now, as our ecosystem grows, more rewards will be introduced. And kind of to give you an example as to how we were trying to make our ecosystem grow in a way, I'm sure you found out that the Shinja project is kind of like being abandoned in a sense. So when we heard about that, we were like, hey, maybe, it's a shame to see that project fall apart. They've built a pretty strong community and whatever, achieved a bunch of good cool things in the space. So we went in there trying to acquire the project and add it to our ecosystem. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, because we're still doing some due diligence, and there's just a lot of liability involved with that. So we're still working out the finer details of how we want to approach that moving forward. But let's say that does happen, right? Let's just say it happens. That is a benefit to people who participate in the war zone, because now it's like, hey, that's another project in the ecosystem, and that is another reward that you'll get out of the war zone in itself. So it's just a cool way to gamify your NFTs, a cool way to gamify the whole ecosystem and keep people entertained throughout the longevity of being the holder, right? If you're holding something, at least might as well make it fun.
Yeah, value to the holders, man. I mean, 100%. Any project for that long-term hold to kind of, find those solutions to have that value to the holders outside of, the bag themselves that they have in the project is definitely great if it can be accomplished. Not all projects are able to. And with Shinja there, I actually had a friend that was a big time supporter of them. It literally just had a flashback when you said that right there. And it's interesting in this space. You have mergers and acquisitions and traditional business all the time. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on how you handle that and what you do. But you know what? Crypto is all about innovation. It's all about ideas and implementing them. So I definitely wish you luck on that. I think there's probably a good value proposition for both, your community and theirs as you do that. And, to the overall point of what you just said of how your holders are rewarded, I do have a memory way back when you guys minted your Shiba and Doge NFTs. Did you guys not give away like a very big prize during that to some random mint during that?
Yeah, for sure, man. So for the Doge Army, we were giving away a Tesla Model S Plaid, and the gentleman who won opted to take the cash prize instead, because there was like a 9-month wait on the Plaids to to get ordered anyway. So they took the cash prize on that. We have another one for the Shiba Army as well, which is still ongoing. The Vitalik NFT, 1 of 1 NFT. Whoever mints that is actually going to win $100,000 in Shibadoge. So that's another big, huge giveaway that we're doing as well.
Man, I don't know if you do, but I would have that banner out on Twitter and TikTok all day long, feeling that. So I will go mint a couple. I actually checked the floor prices of where the collections are at currently. Looks solid. And really, I lined that question up there because I'd like for the community to really get a feel of, what teams are willing to do. I think, with teams that are legitimate and, really trying to build things in this space, I personally myself on projects that I work with, I love giving benefit to the holders. If it's, actually a utility type benefit, staking, for rewards, or, just giveaways and all that. I think it says a lot about where the team's coming from and can give you an indication of where you might go if you decide to join that community. So, yeah, I didn't know that he took the cash, but I can't say I blame him. So
I don't blame him either. I mean, I would have took the cash too, to be honest with you. But to add on what you said, Mike, over the past year and a half or less than that, since we've been live from December to now of last year, we've given away close to $2 million in prizes to our community. I don't think there's any DeFi project out there that's done anything even remotely close to that. So Obviously, we like to reward our community, and we're going to continue to do so.
And you know, when I host AMAs, Leo, I do always like to give ideas that I think are good, and I do work on core teams, so always brainstorming ideas. Like you just said, another promotional graphic that should be out there. $2 million out, $100,000 up for grabs, mint today. So. Yeah, no, that's incredible. And the takeaway for everybody listening, guys, is, as I said, it's a cool community. And I know some very wealthy people in the real world, and you know what? You'd be lucky to see them give $10 to somebody. Crypto is an amazing space where there is a lot of generosity. There's a whole nother side to it that's emerged, unfortunately in crypto. But when you find these communities and these projects doing good, pay attention. I mean, they're easy ones to throw a bag in. The bag's safe. The number of projects that if you bought at launch today, who knows if you're going to end up with any money, but, buying these long-term projects that are established, you have that degree of safety, and then the added values points that you guys are adding on, man, is definitely, awesome. So, I think I'm looking through everything that I wrote down here. And like I said, there's just so much with the ecosystem. I think what, is going on with Shibadoge right now, I feel like you guys are, almost like making another big push again, man. So if you want to talk about some of that new tech that you mentioned, and, we can lead into the NFT mint that's coming and all the important stuff you want to get out, go ahead and let everyone know.
Yeah, for sure, man. You're right. We are preparing for that next big push. That is something that we're working hard to be prepared for. Our goal is mass adoption, whether, however that happens and however you decide to kind of take that in. We do want Shibadoge to be a household name, which is why we're going the media route and starting our own comic book and storyline, and there'll be animated series, there'll be the gamification and all that stuff too. But some of the new tech that we're introducing in the space, and we're actually releasing this. It's actually released right now, but we're officially releasing it to the public on March 30th. So in 9 days, we're releasing something that we like to call a EFT, or a dynamic NFT. We call it an EFT because it's a equipable fungible token. And what this is supposed to do is it changes the entire game for how people interact with their NFTs moving forward. Right now, if you go and you mint an NFT, any NFT out there, you're going to get something that's a static image that comes with its properties, comes with its traits, and you can never change that. You're stuck with how that NFT looks, whether you like the way it looks or whether you don't. You're stuck with it. With EFTs, you'll actually be able to customize the look and the feel of your NFT, right? So if you want to put a blue hat on your NFT instead of the red hat that it came with, you'll be able to do that. If you want to put on a Lakers jersey or a Kobe jersey or whatever, you'll be able to do that. This opens the door for opportunity for us to do partnerships with different brands, different NFT projects, incorporate their traits, incorporate their clothing brands, incorporate whatever they want to bring to the table as far as partnerships go in that sense. But also what it does is it gives us the opportunity to release new features and new, I like to call, superpowers that people can equip their NFTs in the future, right? So like, let's say we have a plasma gun right now, and the plasma gun is just a aesthetic, cool looking weapon that you can put on your NFT. But let's say a year down the line, we add a feature to this plasma gun where it's like, hey, just by owning and equipping a plasma gun, you gain 1.5 times more rewards in the war zone, or something like that, right? This is just an example. I mean, don't quote me on any of this. I'm just kind of like giving you guys examples of what can happen. So with EFTs, people will be able to add and remove modifiers. They'll be able to add and remove customization. They'll be able to actually give their own touch to these NFTs. And there's just really nothing like that exists in the space right now. And we do plan to kind of like white label this to the majority of the space, because the contract, the code that's made is incredible. I mean, it's going to be public very soon. You guys can all go in there and look at the code. But we've spent a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of efforts into making this possible. And we do believe that, you know, over time, it will be one of the bigger things that has happened in the NFT space, and just in the crypto space in general, right? Every few years, something big happens that kind of like changes the whole dynamic of things. And we believe, you know, customization of NFTs is going to be one of the next big things. We already see some of the bigger projects as well, you know, some of the billion-dollar projects that are backed by investors and whatnot. They're also experimenting going down this route. But from what I've seen, they haven't really nailed it the same way that we have. I don't mean to kind of like, you know, toot our own horn or anything like that, but we put a lot of thought into this, and I feel like, you know, we're gonna see some pretty cool interest from a lot of people on the outside from it.
Listen, that I mean, that sounds awesome, Leo. In all honesty, I'm helping a project right now that has an NFT mint coming up, so I've been touring some spaces for them. And you know what? Every single one of those NFT communities that I was in, if you brought that message to them, you are gonna perk their ears up 100%. Every single one of them. Yeah, and you know, you actually already answered a couple things I was going to ask or mention. Is it definitely sounds like something that could be white labeled. I'll be honest with you, you know, it sounds like something you know, you could you know, if you don't release the code and, you know, do it a different way, I mean, you could almost probably raise an incredible amount of money with venture capital, adding utility for it, for how it would be, you know, monetized on the back end there. And you know, for everybody listening, I mean, if you're listening, and you know, I think you explained it well, but say you didn't really understand it, I mean, basically you've innovated NFTs to the next level in a way that I think any NFT maxi is definitely going to find value in. So just unpacking it a little bit more with the customizations, how exactly is that done? Are they additional NFT purchases, or, you know, how is it, you know, what's the process like?
Right. So there's different ways of going about it. And we're going to have a whole bunch of different outlets where people are going to be able to claim these equipable NFTs. We're going to have something called the Armory. And in this Armory, you'll have different options. If you're a Doge Army or Shiba Army holder, you'll have different options of claiming different EFTs that come up. It'll be like a carousel style. So every day or every week, there will be different items up for grabs. And we're making it very exclusive. So it's like when these items come up, once they're gone, they're 99% of the time, they're gone forever. We're never going to bring them back in circulation. So it's like, you know, it could be just a regular white shirt, but if only one person claims that, then that's probably going to be like the rarest item in the entire collection. You know what I'm saying? So the community, a lot of the community will be able to dictate the rarities of these items. Based on what rank your Shibadoge NFT is, will determine, you know, the items that you'll be able to claim, and these will be free claims. We will also have a different outlet for where people can just go in there and purchase EFTs, whether it's with ETH or with Shibadoge tokens or Burn tokens or whatever. But that's not coming out anytime soon. Right now, we're doing the reward the community type of stuff, and, you know, reward the holders. So if you're part of the community, you're part of the ecosystem, you'll be able to go in there and claim these EFTs. And we're doing it kind of like a battle pass type of way. You know, these video games do the battle pass, and there's seasonal items that come and go, you know, the carousel style. We decided to go that route. And in the future, what we'll do as we build a network of different projects that support our tech and different projects that want to be a part of this, we can actually start, you know, developing these types of equipables, wearables for their own NFTs, and introduce the items into their ecosystem through, whether it's through their website or whatever. But yeah, you're right. You know, the code is what's valuable, and that if we do want to go down the venture capitalist route, we can. We don't want to do that just because we value decentralization for the time being, and we believe we could scale it ourselves. We do have the resources and we do have the teams necessary in order to kind of achieve some of the bigger things that could be achieved in the space. You know, so
Yeah,
I do think we have a good opportunity here.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you there. I'm definitely I'd like the decentralization route, and yeah, you know, I mean, just listening to everything you said, the opportunities that are in front of you with that, I think, are vast. So definitely, I wish you well, as you know, as your community and yourself and the rest of your team goes out and just lets everybody know that, you know, this project Shibadoge, you know, is innovated something that is, I mean, it sounds game changing from what you're saying. I mean, not to, you know, I don't know whether any other way to say it right there. So I definitely look forward to that. I'm going to have to definitely want to be a part of that. So I'm going to go mint a few NFTs or see what I can get out there on the market. So I can do that. And the carousel idea is awesome. And that actually is great benefit to your holders as well. If you don't bring them back, as you'll have, you know, that ability to create some super rare ones and all that for everybody. How long have you guys been working on that, man? Just curious, you know, and was this your idea, or how'd you guys develop the idea?
Yeah, so we have like weekly team meetings where we bring everybody that's on board on our team and kind of like have whiteboard sessions with everybody. When we started the project, it was pretty much myself and four other people, and now we've grown to a team of over 20 people. I believe we're like 22 or 23 people. You know, developers, marketers, you name it. We're building a solid team here. So anyway, we were having one of our team meetings, and this idea came up, and we brushed it aside one time, and then the next following week we talked about it again, and we're like, how can we make this possible? And we kind of, I'm not a developer, a Solidity developer, or web programmer, or anything by any means. You can send me the most simple code, and I probably won't understand it. But we have some very talented people on our team, and they kind of drew out a prototype, a very, very basic prototype of how it would work, and kind of went over it, and we're like, holy crap, this is, how has nobody thought of this yet? And we went full force into kind of development, and we've been working on it for close to 10 months now. So it's been a long work in progress, and we're pretty much finalizing all the finishing touches at this point, just with the UI and the UX of the interface of the website, and that's it. Like we're ready to get the show on the road.
And you know what? That's a really great answer. And I have some experience. I'm not a coder myself, but I do have experience on the time it takes to make new code that's intricate, that's different, and the testing periods during it. So I mean, that's really a great answer from my perspective, because it's not only an idea that came to fruition, but a very acceptable amount of time that it's taken to ensure that you roll out a great product for the community and crypto as a whole. So the NFT mint coming up, if you want to talk about that a little bit and how that ties into the EFTs and all that, so everybody kind of has that date in their mind. Definitely something that I don't want to miss, and I think a lot of people on here probably don't either.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick though, to touch on the one last thing that you said about the coding and whatnot, this contract that we built and deployed is a upgradable smart contract, which there is not too many of on the ETH network. So upgradable smart contract allows us to continuously develop onto the current contract, update it, roll out new features. It'll never become obsolete. It is the bread and butter of what we've built here. So yeah, sorry, I just had to get that off of my.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
no,
sure.
That's something to be proud of, Leo. So yeah, no, 100%. And I'm gonna have to research those a little bit more. I can't claim to know everything about that, but yeah, no, definitely good to mention that.
Yeah, for sure, man. And so the mint that's coming up, on the 30th of this month, they're crates, and these crates, by the way, they're free. They're going to be free to mint. The only thing is Ethereum gas fee when you're minting something, and I don't think that's going to be too crazy of a price, depending on how much gas is at the time. But anyway, they're crates that will reveal into EFTs, and these EFTs are going to be pretty much brand new into the collection of Shibadoge, right? So you guys will pretty much be the first to have your hands on the first set of, I like to call, black market EFTs. These crates will reveal into different equipables of different rarities, depending on what you get. Obviously, that's something that you guys will find out when you mint, if you mint. We do have a whitelist going right now in our Discord, which I believe is almost full. I think it's like 1,300 out of 1,500 people. We had set it at 1,000, but it capped out so quick that we raised it by another 500 people. But regardless, these EFTs, you don't have to be a Shibadoge NFT holder to own a EFT. They're a own market of its own, right? And we're going to try to bring value to it in a different manner, because we know not everybody in the world can be a Shibadoge NFT holder. There's only a certain amount of Shibadoge NFTs in circulation. You know, everyone can't own it. But with the collectibles, you know, there's a whole different market that we're going to try to penetrate as well. You know, there'll be people who are like, hey, I'm a NFT holder and I love to customize my NFTs. And then there's the other spectrum of people where they're like, you know what? I just love to collect these things, right? These are cool. Like this, I have the Sam Bankman-Fried hairdo in my collection. I have the you know, my favorite team's jersey in my collection. I have my whatever, right? Everybody has their own favorite stuff, and I think that's a whole nother market to be able to penetrate, just people who are into collecting cool things, especially when there's scarce and there's rarity attached to it. We see how people are with, you know, trading cards, and we see how people are with, you know, memorabilia and whatnot. So I think a lot of the hype that will be created behind this would have to do with a lot of the success that's going to happen with our storyline and with our media stuff that we're going to bring into the table. Because I feel like a good storyline is what gets people attached. Some of the most successful products in the world are built off of storylines. I'm talking like Marvel comic books. I'm talking, you know, Pokemon shows, or just anything in general that has a good storyline and people can get behind. You know, you're able to build value out of it moving forward. And you know, especially in crypto, where a lot of it is you know, animation based. I feel like we can build a very, very strong media company out of it, where, you know, in turn, it entertains people, but it also kind of like informs people of what we've got going on here. And, you know, once that mass adoption does come around, we'll be in a good place to kind of, you know, push this thing forward.
And, you know, the beauty of that opportunity that you're talking about right there, you know, is that, you know, that kind of edges into, you know, more traditional business models. So, you know, there really are ways, you know, that can just be analyzed and studied where you can gain market share if you were just opening a business outside of crypto doing that. So integrating the crypto communities with that definitely can succeed. You know, just bottom line, that's how I look at any business. I mean, every industry has market share that can be gained. You just have to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
I think, you know, having a natural customer base, you know, and I have some family that lives in Japan. I mean, you know, anime and all that is huge over there. You know, I'm not saying that what you guys are doing is that direction, but you have all these different markets all over the world. So I think that's a great direction there that helps with the mass adoption, going back to what you were talking about, you know, a little while back. And, you know, I love the fact that anybody can mint these. I guess you're saying are there still whitelist spots for them? A couple questions are, one is, are there still whitelist spots, and how many are going to be available to mint?
Let me double check give me 2 seconds to see how many spots are still available. I just need to pull up my Discord here.
And anybody listening, if you look for opportunities, the Shibadoge community has over 30,000 holders, as he said, with even more on their centralized exchanges that they have, or vice versa there. There's only so many people that hold the NFTs, so actually getting some of these could be a good bet. So
yeah, and you really don't have anything to lose. They're free, but free to mint, So we do have 400 whitelist spots still remaining on our Discord. If you get whitelisted, you'll be able to mint 2 for pretty much 24 hours before the public sale goes live, right? So you'll be, part of the group that is able to mint 2 of them before anybody else can. The max wallet that we're allowing per wallet to mint is 5 NFTs per wallet. But during the whitelist, you'll only be able to mint 2, and then during the public sale, you can mint the other 3. But we do expect for them to go very, very quick once the public sale goes live. So, getting on the whitelist kind of like guarantees you at least 2 of them.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Definitely a good opportunity. And did you give the number of how many they're going to be?
Yeah, currently there's gonna be 8,888 of them that are gonna 8,888 crates that are gonna be dropped on the mint date.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll tell you what, before we take a couple questions here from the community, definitely I think you guys are, have hit a home run with this right here. I mean, you have new tech, essentially. It's innovative. I mean, I could just think of like graphics that I would make for a project, NFTs are something along the lines of, NFTs are gone. It's EFTs are the future, or, obviously better than that. But market the hell out of it, Leo, because all those NFT communities, you're definitely going to catch their attention, and then it's up to you to explain it correctly so they can all understand it. But I think it's awesome. And I encourage everybody to join the Discord and have a shot at going to be able to mint. They are free, as he said. I don't know what time of day you're going to launch at, and you never know, but you might even spike gas up for everybody else on the chain, man, when you guys go for the launch. We'll see. But yeah, I've seen a few hands put up here. If you guys still have questions, if anybody has a question, you can put your hand up, or there's a few from the chat I was going to go through as well. But right here, I see we got Crypto NFT Queen. I'm going to unmic her in just a second, but let me ask you first, Leo. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that's an important date, or anything else very important that you want to let the community know?
I think we brushed up on everything, man. I mean, more or less, I just wanted to let everybody know that we do have this new tech coming out, and there's an opportunity for you guys to get involved for free. And this is just the beginning of a very, very long road that we're going to pursue. And that's pretty much it, man. I mean, we're almost at 100,000 Twitter followers as well, which is huge for us, and we're just continuously pushing forward, man.
And the other thing I'll add into that as well, for the project there, if I looked at it correctly, just by holding the Shibadoge token or the burn token, both of those receive reflections as well, correct?
The Shibadoge token does receive reflections. The burn token does not receive reflections. So the burn token is, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, but the burn, they burn a whole bunch with that one. But yeah, just by getting the Shibadoge token, for everybody listening, you get the reflections on that, which is always great with a long-term hold. So let's unmic. Or I think Crypto Queen dropped down, but if you want to come back up, Crypto NFT Queen. But we'll unmic Desmond here first. And Desmond, if you have a question, go ahead and ask. you're up there, Desmond. If you can hear me.
Hi, am I audible?
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Great project you have here. Now, my question is, when your native token faces sell pressure, what plan do you have in place to ensure price stability and avoid dumping?
So, very good question. Right now, we have a very, very strong support base, and we've already seen the worst parts of the bear market kind of happen. And I feel like as if we already saw the worst affect us. The distribution of our token is extremely, extremely well distributed. So there isn't really any crazy amount of whales that can affect the charts moving forward in a dramatic way. And I feel as if every top investor, in a sense, let's call them, is not only dedicated to the growth of the project, but they're also very well informed on how the crypto markets work and operate, and how to responsibly, be a holder. We've done a very good job in kind of not, I don't want to say training people, but informing people and educating people on how, the crypto markets move and how the crypto markets operate, and how to remove emotions from your trading life. And I feel like as if, a lot of our holders were able to learn a lot from those lessons, because we actually had to learn those lessons ourselves too. And a big thing in our community is education, and a big thing in our community is sharing that education with everybody, because that knowledge is power. But if you go look at our distribution on our chart, you'll find that it's very, very healthy, and there's really nobody that controls any large portion or majority of the project.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Desmond.
That's awesome.
I appreciate it. I am Mike, and that was a great answer, Leo. The distribution is important, especially in these larger projects as they grow. For people, just checking the list and all that. But I am Mike. Edit Daniels, if you have a question, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity, Mike. So my question to Leo is regarding about the this thing you're about to create. I think what was that?
EFT.
No. Shit, I wrote it down. Okay, the comic book. So I was, while you are talking about it, I was like wondering if are you like afraid of piracy? Have you got that covered? How will you prevent piracy or people from copying from the comic book?
Okay, so I believe that that's going to be almost physically impossible for people to copy our comic book, and I'll tell you why. Our comic book is something that we've worked very, very hard on. Every page, from the first page to the last page, is all hand drawn, not digitally drawn, hand drawn by a artist that we had hired and worked very closely with. And the input that we have put into the storyline of how this comic book is going to play out and progress, and the story progress in the future, is something that's very, very unique to our own imagination. If people want to copy something that's already in place, then I mean, at the end of the day, let them be our guests, and we can hit them with copyright stuff left and right. But we can't really stop people from copying if that's what they want to do, but we could definitely pursue them with copyright strikes, and I don't think that's going to be a problem for us at all, to be honest with you.
Okay, awesome. And my last question, going through your website, the War Zone NFT area, I see that I'm feeling, I want to know, is the NFT staking kind of season now or what? Because I see where they wrote the Dogecoin extraction staking season has ended. So like I'm kind of curious if it's a season now or what.
Yeah, so the we had 2 seasons that have already happened. Season 2 ended a couple of months ago, and season 3 is going to begin in the coming weeks. We're very close to season 3 beginning. So right now it's a intermission. After each season, there is a small intermission before the next season begins.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's interesting. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thank you for the questions there, Edit. One man squad. I unmic you. If you have a question, you can go ahead and ask.
Hi guys, am I audible?
Yep.
My question is quite simple. What is the most potential use case for this project?
So the most potential use case, I'll give you a couple. Firstly, the tokenomics. The tokenomics were something that we were very, very adamant on when we first launched. And when we first launched, people were, saying, what's so special about the tokenomics? And we told them that it's something that can sustain the longevity of time. Whether the markets are doing well, whether the markets are doing bad, whether the markets are non-existent, tokenomics are there to continuously support the growth of the project. We were tested with that when the bear market came around, and almost the entirety of crypto took a downfall. Our tokenomics really shined in what they were built to do, and continuously supported the growth of the project, and continuously supported the rewarding of the community, and at the same time kind of reduced the token supply of our project as well. That's the use case of just owning the Shibadoge token, right? It's a utility of its own. The tokenomics are a utility of its own. But the absolute greatest use case that I could think of being part of our community is the community factor alone. There have been so many strong connections with people that have been made, and so many strong ideas that have been brought to the table with just being a part of a positive community and somewhere that you can actually voice your thoughts, be a part of, and help build in the space by just being a part of the community is something that's very invaluable. We feel that there are a lot of use cases that will be introduced in the future as our ecosystem continuously grows. But at the root of it all, it always comes back down to being a part of the community, and think of it like a club. Some of the most exclusive clubs in the world have a value just based off of that exclusivity alone. And we feel like as if we could bring a lot of like-minded people together and have the same goal, we can manifest anything to happen in the likelihood of people wanting to succeed in life, in crypto, in whatever, right? So we just feel that there is power in numbers, and that's what we're achieving here with this project.
Great job. I like that, and I wish you good luck with your project.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, and thank you for the question, One Man Squad. We'll take one more, Leo, and I have Zad D. You are unmiked. If you have a question, you can go ahead and ask.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Zad?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the whitelist. How do you join the whitelist?
So if you go to our Discord, there is a tab there that says how to whitelist. There are different options on how you can become whitelisted. And every now and then, we have different types of community games that you could participate in to win as well. So there are a few different opportunities and a few different ways that you can get whitelisted, bro.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And if you guys
All right.
need to get to our Discord, you could just go to our website, Shibadoge.com, and there should be a link there for you to join the Discord, or you could go in our Telegram and type in /Discord, and it'll give you the link there as well.
Yeah, y'all have a good day.
You too, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Sa. And yeah, I think I did put the Discord links on our posts as well, guys. So definitely get in there. I was just scrolling some of the questions in the chat. Hopefully we covered a bunch of those for you guys, but I do just want to read this one comment from Elon Vitalik. He did say, amazing they're giving away 100K for minting an NFT. Mind-blowing. So I'll almost leave you with that, Leo. You guys have so many tremendous marketable opportunities within your project, what you've built. I really wish you luck on everything that you guys are doing. You know, not every project has that. You know, some projects they're all hype, but you guys have, I mean, you guys have so many different things. And you know, I have a marketing background within my traditional real world businesses, and I always just look for those ways. You know, how can you get, you know, more customers, more market share, more people to notice you? And I mean, you guys have so many of them. So I wish you luck with everything there. I encourage everybody on the call, you guys 100% should get into the Discord. You just heard from a project that has over 30,000 holders. I mean, who knows the full number, as you were saying, Leo, is a lot more. You have the opportunity to go mint free NFTs from them that dedicated holders of their NFTs currently are going to want. Just bottom line, I mean, that's a tremendous opportunity. Those are the opportunities in life that you want to go look and seek out and take those couple extra steps to actually be a part of. If you want to give a couple closing words, Leo, then I'll close it out here, man. But it's definitely been great having you on here today.
Yeah, for sure, Mike, man. Thank you for having me. And I am going to reach out to you again, probably in the coming days. I'm building a network of people who do like AMAs and Twitter Spaces and things of that nature. I'm trying to curate and put together one of the, if not the absolute biggest Twitter space that's ever happened. So I'm bringing on board, you know, some of the most influential people and people that we've worked with in the past to kind of like get everybody on board at the same time. And it's not for shilling reasons or anything like that. I just want to have the biggest crypto talk, even if it's just a one-time thing. We're trying to schedule that, and I'll get you involved with that as well. But as far as closing things go, I don't really have anything to close with. I've been doing AMAs like this pretty much all week long. I'm going to continue doing them all week long. If you guys want to hear more, feel free to join our Telegram. Feel free to join our community. You don't even have to be a holder to join. It's a great place to be. I'm sure you'll learn a lot. I'm sure you'll meet a lot of great people. And it's just a positive, very positive ecosystem and environment. And you guys are more than welcome to come in and hang out with us. But other than that, if you guys ever need anything from me, feel free to ask. You can tag me. Nobody from my team will ever DM you. I won't ever DM you asking you to click on any links or anything like that. So be careful of the scammers out there. Be careful of the bad actors, and be safe.
To just touch on a couple things there. First off, yeah, definitely feel free to reach out. I'd love to bring in some of the communities that I've met over the last week. As I mentioned earlier, I'm working with a team that's leading up to a mint this Friday. So, you know, definitely would do everything I can to link them to you guys. I know that anybody who's, you know, been in this game a long enough time, they know Shibadoge. So definitely use the opportunity to pull everybody together. And I was already thinking to myself, a huge Twitter space for the mint, or if you're going to do it for the mint or around that time, would be definitely epic. So, but yeah, I'll close off just by saying to everybody once again, jump in their community, guys. I mean, this is a project, like you heard me say earlier. I remember when they were giving away the Tesla, or the offer of the Tesla, that the guy took the cash for instead. But I remember that time. I mean, Shibadoge has been around a long time, guys. They've been making moves in this game. They've developed new technology with the EFTs. You know, if you fully see the marketable aspects of it, I absolutely do. I mean, they can be monetized, they can be used to just draw more people into the ecosystem. So it sounds like a great time if you're brand new hearing about Shibadoge to jump in their community and be a part of it. But Leo and the rest of your community that is on the call, I appreciate you guys joining. I look forward to watching your progress as you move forward and be happy to help you guys out any way that I can.
Thank you, Mike. You're the man. And this was a pleasure. As always, I'll sign off with these last words. If you miss Doge, that sucks. If you miss Shiba, that also sucks. If you miss Shibadoge, I'm sorry, man, but you suck.
I actually remember